Hey y'all, I'm about to do a review on a Motoz Arena Hybrid rear tire. It's on a 2000 KTM EXC 200 that I mostly just do single track riding with, and no high speed stuff with this. My go-to tire is usually a Maxxis Max Cross rear that usually I get at least a season out of. It's a really good heavy-duty tire, holds up well, does well on the rocks. In terms of where you really need grip though, like it's on this bike, it spins a good amount. So I've been desiring more just kind of like mostly in a lot of this stuff here, like these I don't know if you can see here, these pine needles, a lot of the kind of slicker, kind of sandy stuff, where I just kind of want to put more power to the ground. The standard Maxxis that I was running was 100, 118. This Motoz Arena Hybrid is a 110, and you can tell it's a really big tire. I mean, especially on this bike. I hope I don't get any. I think I've got, a good amount of clearance here behind the swing arm here, but it's just this guy is kind of sticking out here, this little flap. So hopefully as the tire kind of beds in and that gets pushed back where it should, that's relatively near that mud flap, it'll work a little better. But I mean, these are extremely soft knobs. So I'm gonna start out on some really easy trails. I really want to see how much life I can get out of this. So I'm just starting out for the day. I'll probably do like 3 hours of riding today. So I'm gonna pretty much just stick to the dirt today. Tomorrow I'll probably go on some of the rockier trails. I'm up here in the Tahoe National Forest and just kind of see how it does there. I'm gonna be extra cautious. Like I said, I'm not much of a wheel spinning guy. But I'm going to be extra cautious on those rocks just to kind of see what kind of life I can get out of this tire. So this is just the intro, so stay tuned. I'm going to do some riding videos with it, and hopefully this will be my new go-to tire. Hey y'all, just continuing a review of the Motoz Arena Hybrid tire. I'm at about 10 hours now on a mix of loamy soil, a bunch of rocks like this, some of quite a bit of them really sharp edge stuff around here. Just a good example of like a lot of the edges on these rocks here. Just so you know. And I am blown away at how well this tire is holding up. I've also had it on some gravel fire roads and a little bit of blacktop too. I try to stay off that to keep the life in these. And again, this is on a 200, a KTM EXC 200. I'm a very light rider. I'm at about 150 pounds, totally geared up. So the one thing I noticed, and this might be different on a bigger bike or a heavier rider, but it seemed that I'm running this at 6 PSI now on a tube. And it seemed to be where if I was like at 8 or 10 PSI, on a lot of this rocky stuff, it was kind of bouncy. So I don't know if that would be something where I'd kind of want to maybe tweak my rebound on my shock a little bit, or if that's just kind of the nature of a tire like this, and especially on a very light bike with a light rider. So that's the only kind of weird thing I noticed about it, was just kind of bouncing around more on rocky stuff like this. But other than that, I'm absolutely blown away. I mean, look at, there's just a little bit, of the edge coming off, like just as you would expect, kind of on any new tire. But there's no, like, none of these knobs are starting to tear at all. I mean, look at, I don't know if I'm gonna, oh, sorry, I think my finger was over it there. So if you look at, I mean, just how tweakable these knobs are. And like I said, I mean, for the stuff I put this tire through so far, I think that's holding up really, really well. The first tire that I tried of kind of more of a gummy, softer compound, and I'll put it in the review, a GT233N Golden Tire, I believe. And that, within just 2 hours of desert riding, and kind of more in just sand and maybe some rooty stuff like this, it was already starting to tear. And I've got some pictures of that I'll put up here too. I'm absolutely blown away by this tire. It's probably going to be my go-to for now. I think it's going to be phenomenal in deep sand because these knobs are just so tall. It's probably going to be almost like a paddle tire. And also I'd love to get it into some mud and some kind of wet rocks and stuff. So while we're on tires, I've been running this Golden Tire Fatty on the front for, man, almost like a year and a half, 2 years now. And I mean, this thing's just holding up really, really well. And of course it's a front tire. So, you know, that's chunking a teensy bit right there. But like I said, I think I've got a good, probably at least 50, 60 hours on this front tire, maybe 70. And it's doing really well. Like a lot of reviews say, it does kind of help your suspension a bit. It's a little bouncy. So these two tires actually would be a very, very good combination if you were on like a CRF 230F or possibly a bike that just doesn't really have the best suspension, because you'd kind of get some extra help through the tires. One of the complaints, I think Jeff Slavens was doing a review on this, of the Golden Tire Fatty, was that it doesn't work well in ruts, like it wants to climb out of ruts. And I did experience some of that at Carnegie, where they've got a lot of this single tracky stuff off their main trails that's surrounded by grass. So you're trying to kind of keep in this narrow rut, and then when you go off it, you get all this traction and like kind of fly around and stuff. So, but for the most part, I really don't ride rutty stuff like that, or really anything with like grass, or like, I've been to Carnegie like twice, so it's not really one of my favorite places to go. So you know, that the one complaint of this tire I can definitely tolerate. If I was doing more track stuff or more of that single track stuff, you know, maybe it would be an issue. But yeah, very happy with the Golden Tire Fatty and the Motoz Arena Hybrid rear. So this is, I'm filming this in Forest Hill OHV in the Tahoe National Forest. It's a beautiful June day. So thanks for watching, and I hope this video helps. I've never been much of like a reviewer of stuff, just because I've been riding for maybe 5-6 years now, doing dual sport stuff. And then I really got kind of into, I got this bike about 4 years ago and started getting into more enduro riding. So, you know, I kind of consider myself an internubiate rider. And, you know, I don't really have the wealth of experience that a lot of people do who, you know, grew up on bikes and have been riding since they were born. But, you know, I think this is a fairly half-educated review. Bear in mind the bike that it's being used on. You know, you'll see a lot of reviews on websites and things like, oh, this tire sucks, or oh, this tire is great, but nobody gives you reference of what bike they're on or how heavy they are, what type of riding they are. So again, KTM 200, pretty much like the lightest enduro bike you can possibly get. And this is a 2000, so like none of the electronic stuff or TPI or e-start or any of that. I'm mostly into like really technical, gnarly riding. So with those thoughts in mind, and like I said, I'm 150 pounds, totally geared up. So light rider, light bike, gnarly single track, very, very happy with these tires. So again, now I'm just rambling, so I'm going to wrap this up now, and thanks for watching.